Welcome, everyone. This is actually going to be another Hidden AI Gems starter episode. We're going to be talking about Scribe. Yeah, Johnny, I love these starter episodes, these appetizers, Hidden AI Gems.
I do too.
Hmm.
Welcome to Season 10 of Airhead Institute, your 45-minute AI power-up at noon Eastern. This month, we are broadcasting live across all the socials and Zoom. If you're new here, join our free AI community to grow alongside other curious minds and give your kids a head start by enrolling them in the Airhead After School program. Here's March's weekly lineup. Mondays, we take the training wheels off securely in the Open Claw Bootcamp. Tuesdays, we explore bleeding edge tools from Google Labs in Gemini Hidden AI apps. Wednesdays, we equip the next generation in AI Gateway to College. Thursdays, we uncover productivity and marketing tools in Hidden AI Gems, Starters. Fridays, we explore human purpose in an automated society in Humanity 2.0, No Jobs Edition. We're making AI practical, powerful, and accessible for everyone. No tech background? No problem. Whether you're a student, professional, or lifelong learner, just show up. Guided by your hosts, AI Junior and AI Johnny, we're keeping it bold, brainy, and built for real-world impact. AI won't take your job, but someone who knows how to use AI will. Don't get left behind.
Welcome, everyone, to Season 10 of Airhead Institute, Episode 2, Hidden AI Gems, baby. Strap in because this one's about to assassinate your nightmare workflow and dance on its grave. You know the torture, explaining login steps to the same person for the 47th time like you're teaching interpretive dance to a goldfish. Or demoing software that somehow only makes sense to aliens and 3-year-olds. That soul-sucking loop, dead today. Meet the assassin, a tool that creeps or politely watches every dumb click, typo, and why you won't work meltdown. Then auto builds a crystal clear instruction manual before your coffee's even cold. No more screaming into the void. No more passive aggressive post-its. Just ruthless, beautiful automation. But first, the gremlin. I found this maniac at 4 a.m. trying to force an AI to write the entire school budget in Klingon just to benchmark token seed. Absolute legend. Put your hands together for my co-pilot, my enabler, my probable future lawsuit, AI Junior.
Yeah, Johnny, it was probably Elvish. You're funny as heck. The latency was terrible. Anyway, welcome everyone. Remember, this is an immersive class. Just like you were dropped in a random country where you don't speak a language, you're gonna pick up a word or two in the first day or so, and then after about a month, you'll be actually having probably full conversations. You'll be fluent in whatever language they speak. So, konnichiwa, watashi, nomo, tadachi. Hello, my friends. Join our class every day, and before you know it, you'll be speaking AI like a pro. If you're on Zoom, unmute and ask your questions real time. If you're on socials, there is a 30-second delay. So type your questions early. We are not ignoring you. We are in week 2 of our Hidden Gem series, uncovering the tools that save you massive amounts of time. But first, AI Johnny, let's go to the month, the Gemini Bridge.
Well, before we even touched the software for today's lessons, we went straight to our official large language model of the month, Gemini. We asked our model to analyze the documentation for us. JR, what is the single most mind-blowing fact about Scribe right now?
All right. So we actually went to our large language model here that's at Airhead Institute, and Scribe's actually Gemini analyzed the data and found that Scribe reduces documentation creation time by 93% by autonomously tracking your clicks and generating a visual step-by-step guide instantaneously.
That is a bold claim. Fire up the screen. Let's see if Gemini is right. Let's do a
All
live
right.
test.
All right, guys. So I just actually dropped Gemini for those who want to play along at home and on live stream. That's gemini.google.com. Now let's go over to what we're going to be doing. So let's start off with a brand new Gemini chat. Okay, so because we're going to go to a brand new Gemini chat, let's say, for example, Gemini just came out to AI Johnny with Adrian, thanks for joining. Rita, thanks for joining. I see you in the Zoom chat. AI Johnny, let's say, for example, I needed to send over a document because Gemini just dropped their music generation model called Lyria. But a lot of people may not know how to actually get to it, right?
Right.
All right. So because of that, they may say, hey, you know what? I want to talk to it over the phone. I don't want to actually explain a million times. So what we did was we actually signed up for a Scribe account. We're going to show you a little bit more, but this is a demo. This is a just a taste episode. So actually, if you can see, I'm going to lower my bar here just a tad so you can actually see a little bit more behind the scenes. Normally, we don't usually show all those little pieces, but in the top here, you'll see a little icon here that I've installed on my Chrome browser. Now, in my Chrome browser, I'm actually using Edge, Edge just to be fair. So on my Edge browser itself, it has Scribe. And if I click on that Scribe, it actually opens out a side panel. See that AI, Johnny? See that Scribe AI panel?
Hard to miss.
All right.
I see it, yeah.
No. All right. So now that I actually have the Scribe panel, I'm actually going to go and hit the Start Capture button. And when I hit that Start Capture button, it's going to start recording every single thing I do. So I'm going to hit that Start Recording button. And it says now capturing your browser. And then what I'm going to do is people miss this first fact that they have to click on this little tools icon here and then click on music. Now, if you see while that's happening on the right hand side, you saw it says start here. It says navigate to gemini.google.com/app on the right hand side. I'm going to click on music and it's going to take a screenshot and it said click here, click music. Then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and type in the thing that I actually want to do in here. So I click here. It's noticed that I clicked here. Now I'm going to actually type in, I want a song about going, if I could spell, to Airhead after school and learning the best AI skills. Okay. All right. So that is what I've typed in. Now I have a little typo here, so I can actually even go ahead and just say change that little typo. If I wanted to, I can hit edit, but I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to leave it. I'm going to hit submit. And you notice it's actually capturing my submit button. It's generating, it's waiting for it to generate the web page. The web page is actually going. And eventually I will have my song. So we're going to wait for about 30 seconds or so for Lyria to come back. I'm going to export this and show you when this amazing document that was actually created. What do you think so far, yeah, Johnny, while this is generating?
So what are we going to get? This thing on the right is going to be in some kind of a file?
Well,
that we can send to somebody?
you know what? We're going to see it. We're going to see it, but let's see what here. So let's check this out. Let's play the song.
School bell rings, I'm out the door. Know just what my brain is for. Yeah, I hit up Airhead after class. Put the pedal straight to the gas. Dropping knowledge, building up the code. Watch my algorithm overload. We building bots, yeah, that's the move. Got the AI state of mind, nothing to prove. Deep learning with the squad, we run the scene. The future's here, a digital dream. At Airhead, yeah, we run the game. At Airhead, they all know the name. School bell rings, I'm out the door.
All right. So because of that, I'm going to delete this one. And now that we actually have our thing, we can actually click the complete capture here. And we complete capture. What it does is actually save my steps. And AI Johnny, to answer your question, what did it do? It opened up a web page. And just like that, I actually have a beautiful, let me make this a little bit bigger for you guys. We actually have a beautiful how to do something. So it's how to generate a song about learning AI skills with Gemini. So it says navigate to gemini.google.com/app. It actually has the web page. It says click here. It says a little circle dot where it says circle where it says tools. It actually also showed, click on this, but this at the bottom here, it says describe your track. It says type a song about Airhead after school. It even has my typo in there, which is great. I can actually edit that if I wanted to. Click here, and then hit submit. And then it says click here, play the song. And it captured everything how to be able to generate a song in Gemini using Lyria. So yeah, Johnny, what do you think now?
So we're using Scribe and Lyria.
Well, we were demonstrating how to use Lyria with Scribe. You're absolutely correct.
I think it's got a lot of use, a lot of good use. We'll use it.
Definitely.
We can turn on Scribe on our class when we're in class during the wow moment or during any moment where we're teaching, and then we could, I'm always trying to throw notes into the chat margin just so that people have something to hang on to what they learned. If you're doing a demonstration and you're the one that's clicking through and other people are just watching from their laptops at home, unless they're playing along in real time, a lot of it's going to get lost, right? They're going to go back and go, what did he click? What did he click? But if we can have Scribe spitting out the things that we taught every day in school, and we can save them into an archive or a resource library of some kind, then people can come back to these classes anytime they want and at least do the hands-on stuff that we did inside the window. What do you think of that idea?
You're absolutely right, yeah, Johnny. We've actually shared that in the chat. We already shared it in the chat. So if anybody wants to be able to go ahead and click that link, they can actually bring up the actual Scribe how to actually do that thing. And this makes really great how-to things. So things like if you're making AI videos or blogs or tutorials, you can actually just take that and shove it up on the blogs to make things easier. So yeah, guys. So AI Johnny. Let's transition to the word of the day.
Okay. Word of the day today is DOM, the document object model. It is the structural framework of a web page that dictates how everything is displayed and interacted with.
Hey, Mr. Camilla, thanks for joining. I see you. All right. Yeah, so exactly, AI Johnny. So the DOM matters because Scribe isn't just taking DOM video. It's reading the actual DOM, the document object model, understand exactly what button was clicked, which allows it to pull the text from what the button is and write the instructions for you autonomously. So it's actually a really, really good way to be able to understand what you're clicking on and what you're able to actually interact with. Hey, Shauna, thanks for joining. All right, yeah, Johnny. So let's go over the pros of Scribe. So we're going to take Scribe and we're going to drop a link to Scribe in the chat so you guys can actually, they do have a free account. We're going to talk about the pricing ladder in a second. All right, yeah, Johnny, let's go ahead and start talking about the pros of Scribe.
Okay.
Yeah, let's talk about the pros of Scribe, yeah.
Instant documentation. So, well, a couple of things I wanted to just do a throwback. Those screen captures. What I'm noticing is that in the documentation it created, it didn't just show you the button and leave it up to you to find out where that button is on the page. It actually showed you the whole page, and then it did kind of like when we're doing a screen share, you have your little red arrow. So by showing the entire screen and showing where to click on the screen, that's more useful than just showing that little symbol inside the documentation. Because now I have to look around for the symbol, and it may blend in like Waldo. You with me?
Yeah, exactly. No, the thing is,
go ahead.
So the thing is, I did zoom in on the page, yeah, Johnny. So what happens is because I zoomed in on a page, the pictures are blown up a little bit bigger because people won't be able to see on the screen share. But what happens is if you actually make it a bit larger, your pictures are going to be bigger and it's going to be a little bit harder to find. So if you guys see that these pictures, if you notice, these pictures are very, 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 very blown up. And the reason is because I zoom in for being able to for you guys to see how to do it in the Zoom and the live stream. So when you're doing it, it won't be this big. Okay, so don't. I hope we're not misconstruing what is actually shown. So it's blown up purposefully for illustration purposes. Sorry, yeah, Johnny, just want to clarify that.
Some of the pros of Scribe: instant documentation. The biggest pro is that it turns your physical clicks into written prompts and instructions without you typing a single word. It acts like an agent watching your screen.
Exactly.
It also does auto redaction for security. Scribe has smart features that can blur out sensitive information like student data before the guide is ever published. That's sweet. Did we show that?
No, this is just a hidden gems, just a starter taste. If we actually get into a deeper dive, we will probably do that in another episode.
And export flexibility. You aren't locked into their ecosystem. You can export these guides as PDFs, embed them into Notion, or drop them into a Google Doc with perfect formatting. So my favorite is Pro. That is the free tier. It is incredibly generous. You can map out your whole browser workflow for $0 and get your desired output. It's like having a tiny secretary inside your Chrome browser for you.
Yeah, so I just want to be let people understand. So this requires you to download an additional piece of software. So the additional piece of software is it requires you to be on your desktop. So that's the first requirement. So if you're on a mobile device, we're going to go into the limitations, but I wanted to be very clear that these pros are really, really good. But AI Johnny just mentioned something a while ago. If you notice here, the free tier, it shows a Chrome logo. Keep in mind that Edge is the competitor to Chrome, which is a fork of, getting a little bit technical here, of Chrome. So Edge and Chrome are exactly the same browsers, just that one is managed by one company, one is managed by another company. So if you're using Edge, you actually do have the same exact features as Chrome. All right, AI Johnny. So you know what? Everything sounds good here. There must be some negatives, right?
Nope. Nothing wrong with this software at all. Wait, it's not perfect. It does have some limitations. Desktop restrictions. The free Chrome extension only works inside the browser. If your workflow requires opening a desktop application like Microsoft Excel or a local terminal, the free version goes blind. You have to upgrade for desktop capture.
Got it.
I know what that means. You want to explain that to people that don't know what that means?
Yeah, so let's actually talk about this a little bit. Hey Devon, I see you actually in the Zoom chat. Thanks for joining. All right, so the thing is desktop restriction. So if you notice, when I click this button here, right, it is actually running inside the browser, which means that if I am using an application outside the browser, so let's say for example I'm using Microsoft Word, or if I'm using my Outlook email or whatever it is, it doesn't
Calendar
have access.
app, a calculator. There's a lot of apps that you bring up that are not inside your browser. We spend most of our time in the browser, so it'll pick up most of the stuff. But you got to be wary if you're using Scribe of what's inside the browser and what's outside the browser.
Yep, you're absolutely right, yeah, Johnny. So just want to be very clear. This is actually running inside the browser. So therefore, this desktop restriction, now this is on the free tier. They are working out the kinks to actually getting on the desktop in the higher tiers. But again, this is just a starters hidden gems episode. We're not going to go into a deep dive on what those limitations are, but just want to let you know that in the free tier, if you're going to be using, it's browser based for now. All right, yeah, Johnny, what's the next one?
Dynamic page confusion. On highly complex websites with constant pop-ups or changing layouts, the computer vision gets confused, requiring you to manually edit the steps that it recorded. So if you have a lot of movement going around, pop-ups, thing going away, it's not quite as sophisticated as human eyes. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah. And Laverne, thanks for joining. Thanks for actually joining. So what happens is, let's say, for example, the page is a little bit more complicated. Now, most people don't even realize how complicated web pages are, right? You actually have things expanding and contracting. You have things popping out. You have things moving around. These are called dynamic web applications. These dynamic web applications, the more complex they get, they become highly confusing to Scribe. So Scribe actually doesn't do a good job of actually capturing really, really complex apps. So if you see a little bug here or two, just be patient. They are working on the kinks. So yeah. All right. And the next big one, AI Johnny, is definitely
Hover state
something.
missive.
Yeah,
Can you hear me
that
okay?
of course.
It sometimes struggles to capture hover states. If a menu only appears when you hover your mouse over it, Scribe might miss that intermediate step, confusing the final reader.
Exactly. So a lot of people don't even recognize it. So if you're on a desktop, it's so natural for you to move the mouse. I'm actually going to do it here as an example. If I go to, say, for example, Gemini, right? And if I go over to anything on Gemini, so if I hover over this menu, I get a tools pop-up. That's a little hover or a pop-over. It has many different names for it. But if I hover over things, right, it will actually tell me other things. Now, what happens is we take this for granted on a desktop. The reason why we take it for granted is because when we move over to a tablet or a mobile device, there is no hover state, right? So that blows people's mind when I actually tell them that sometimes, like, wait, yeah, you're right, you can't hover. So how do they do it? So on a mobile device, the only thing you can do is either click or a long press. Those are the only two really actions. You can swipe, but that's a different interactions for these things. So what happens is what AI Johnny mentioned is that one of the cons is that if you're doing a hover state, the hover state sometimes does not work. So if your instructions require you to do a hover to show a step, keep in mind that that may not necessarily work right out the gate for this application. Now, again, if you're joining for the first time, I want to just show you guys we are actually creating this beautiful. We're demoing this beautiful application called Scribe. It actually has done an amazing job in showing a tutorial. I'm actually going to share the tutorial again, AI Johnny. And here is the tutorial here. And we've created how to actually create a song using Gemini, right? And it tells you every single step. And we're going to post that in the chat for those who just joined, so that if you've missed how to do that, and if you want to be able to learn how to actually create a song using Gemini, you can follow that link and actually create your own song. All right, yeah, Johnny, any more cons? Or we ran out of cons, right? That's it, right?
We ran out of cons, but we haven't talked about pricing yet.
All right. So a lot of things that we want to talk about specifically for pricing is the following. So if you actually look at Scribe itself, just like any platform, they usually have a free tier. And the free tier in this regard is actually pretty generous, right? The free tier itself gives you the ability to install a core extension. We're using the free version right now. It makes you install the free version with the Chrome or the Edge extension on the browser, and you get the ability to create many web tutorials. Now, there is a limitation. The limitation, if I see here, if I scroll in, yeah, Johnny, can you actually read these on the screen, or should I make it a little bit bigger? Make it a little
I
bit
can't
bigger.
read it. I can read it now.
All right. So if you notice on the free tier, they do not have one little feature, which is really important: export to PDF, HTML, and Markdown. So that out the box does not exist. Now, we're going to tell you a little tip here at Airhead Institute, so you guys can ever have any issue where somebody doesn't allow exporting to PDF or those type of things. I just want to give you one little tip right here. Any single web page or anything that's actually shown on your screen, you have the ability to print. And because you have the ability to print, right, that print gives you the option to save as PDF. So always remember, if you never have access to export to PDF, you can always print, select save to PDF, and you'll have a beautiful PDF document as if you were going to print the page. So just remember that as well. Not trying to actually say how we can get around Scribe, but I just want to teach you guys generically how to always print anything that you see on the screen to a PDF. So that's another tip you guys actually learned here. All right, yeah, Johnny. So that's one of the things on a free tier. What about the if I want to go mid tier?
A side hustler, $25 according to the
Yeah,
screen.
yeah.
Per user per month. This is the sweet spot for solo creators and consultants. You unlock the desktop app capture for Mac and Windows, completely remove the manning, and get the critical auto redaction features for privacy. Sounds like that auto redaction. I bet you're not going to, well, I guess you can get around that. Just redact it afterwards, right?
Yeah, just a little bit extra work. It might not be that bad. You may not be have to type in username and passwords that much, or if you have sensitive information like a customer's name on the screen, just black it out if you can.
Okay.
And what about the
So I
powerhouse?
see
Yeah,
on the
Johnny.
screen the 13. Okay, the pro personal and the pro team. Pro team is powerhouse.
Yeah. This is for the powerhouse. People who actually need all the enterprise features here.
Okay, so um, we just talked a little bit about the pro personal and the pro team kind of combined has those features. Then there's the enterprise plan, which is the custom over on the right.
Yeah.
And that's for serious businesses. It offers advanced admin controls, SSO for authentication. You'll talk about that. And the enterprise grade data governance. The price is custom and requires you to schedule a demo. So they can't even give you the price. You have to tell them what you want, and then they tell you what it's going to cost for them to give it to you.
Yeah, and just for people who actually are looking at this pricing tier, you might say, "Hey, why is the price $13 here for the pro and the pro team, and it's $25 here for the personal?" Again, we have annual billing turned on by default. Let's turn that off so we guys can see the real price for a month to month. So it's 17 and 35. Now you're probably saying, "Why would I ever pay 35 when I can just pay 17?" This actually is a team version, and it's starts at 5 seats. So what happens is you have to actually take that number and multiply it by 5, because this personal plan is only just for 1 seat, and then this team version is 5 seat. So it works out to be about, what's that, Johnny? It's like almost $80,
85.
something like that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So with that being said, you're going to be paying $85 minimum for that, for the first for 5 people, even if you're only going to use one. So just be careful when you don't get tricked into that $17 per person limit. All right. Does anybody have any questions so far? Again, remember, this is an immersive class. If you actually need to ask a question, why would I use Scribe? We're going to get to the details of key applications and takeaway later. But I just wanted to let you guys know how exactly to get Scribe. If you guys have any questions, don't hesitate to actually ask. We're going to drop that link again in the chat. All right, yeah, Johnny. Let's
All
go
right.
and take.
What do you say we open up the hood and start talking about things that only Adrian and Laverne will understand?
I love it, love it, love it.
The tech powering Scribe. Tell us what is going on under the hoods, JR.
All right. So let's check this out, guys. So we talked about how it's actually working. It's talking about the DOM. It's actually doing a whole bunch of things. So because we're doing a teaser here, we want to at least explain the technology behind these really great products. It's a really good idea to at least maybe understand what's going on. So in terms of and again, if you don't understand this, don't worry. This is only just for the people who are a little bit more technical and wants to hear what's happening behind the scenes. So Scribe uses a mix of heuristics and computer vision to analyze the DOM tree of the web page. That's that document object model. And because it actually does that, it can understand semantically what the buttons mean. So things like, click or, print, it knows exactly what it's trying to do. So by reading the underlying structure, Scribe identifies all of the meaning on the web page. So it actually can create a really beautiful visual of this is actually going to be able to do something like create music, or if you actually hover over something that says print, it knows that it's going to print. So it takes the actual information and it sends that as structured data to the large language model, the LLM, and instantly translates that specific action into some natural language instruction. So if you actually click on a button and it says click on, print, it can actually give some nice instruction that says, oh, the user actually clicked on the print button. You should click print in this specific example. No, it has also advanced AI optimization. So behind the scenes, the platform relies heavily on advanced natural language processing to automatically polish your raw documentation. So when we actually showed an example here, this documentation looks really, really, really great because it's like click music. It knows that, click here, navigate to there. So it's actually looking really, really good. And it tells you it's seven steps, going to take you about 2 minutes. So it actually understands how to do something and what to actually do. Diving into the enterprise features, things like auto redaction. Remember, we did a teaching, I think it was 2 Wednesdays ago or 3 Wednesdays ago about redaction. Make sure when you're redacting, you don't just put a highlight over the text because you can actually reverse engineer that. So this has auto redaction features in the enterprise version. So you can actually redact highly sensitive information that it uses computer vision to automatically recognize those PII, that's personally identifiable information, and the blurring happens seamlessly so that sensitive information can't be reverse engineered. And then last thing is you have the ability to export to Markdown, which is a huge, huge, huge type of benefit now for feeding that into another AI, because that's the way how AI is actually going right now for structuring your prompts. One of the most powerful features, it doesn't trap your data into the wall garden of keeping it there. So exporting it to Markdown so other people can use it is a really great way to do it. All right, AI Johnny, did anybody fall asleep?
Well, I see some questions queuing up, but before we get to the questions, what do you say we talk about the takeaways and the key takeaways in the application itself?
Yep. All right, Jillian and Chris, I see. Nope, you guys are good. All right. So, for the key takeaways, so let's actually talk about the key takeaways. So, on the creative side, AI Johnny, what do we have?
Well, I've got 3 here for creative and business ways to use this right now. Onboarding, create a 1-day manual for new hires in 10 minutes.
Yeah,
Pretty neat. And
yeah.
how do you
So,
log in? How do you add your name to the database? How do you hook up to the printer? That kind of stuff.
yeah, AI Johnny, I cannot tell you how many onboarding steps or, being able to try to explain to all my, whether it's my engineers that are actually onboarding and say, how do you set their machine? All those things were painstakingly difficult when you're onboarding a new user or a new, employee, because you're sitting down and you're actually doing the same thing. Now, the thing is, you could just automate this by throwing a Scribe over it and saying, hey, do this. But the nuances of this is machine's a little bit different, this environment variable, so things change quite a bit. So let's say, for example, you install version 1 today. Tomorrow they may upgrade to version 2 and the buttons may not be in the same place. So I want people to understand that once you commit to creating these documents, applications change over time. So they do a new system update, they do something that actually changes where the button is, where the thing is. So what happens is your button and your documentation where the user clicks are not in sync. So I want you guys to keep in mind that if you're going to create these documentations, keep in mind that as the application evolves over time, you're committing time to go ahead and redo those documentations as the application gets updated. So that's one little takeaway for that. But it's a huge time saver, yeah, Johnny.
Yeah, but you're saving redo time as well. Let's say you have an employee that is having a hard time grasping how to set up eCam to start a new Zoom show, or having trouble with Kit or Mighty Networks, just doesn't know how to navigate the thing. And you wanted to teach him, but this particular person needs to see things 17 times before he actually retains it. You could just record it in Scribe one time, hand it to that employee, and be done with it. And you wouldn't have to show it 17 times.
You're absolutely right, yeah, Jenny. Absolutely right. I see it. Jillian also say here, teaching remote workers. Jillian, that's such a great point as well. I love that. All right, yeah, Johnny. What else on the list
Client
of
handoffs. When you build a website for a client, use Scribe to record how they can update their own blog. Blog updates. Brilliant, brilliant application.
huge benefit? And what about
Parent,
parent tech support?
teachers can record exactly how parents should log into the new grading portal, stopping the flood of confusing emails, phone calls, personal visits, nasty letters. Yep.
Yeah,
What a great application. And since this is the week or the month that we're talking about education, I think teachers should pay note that the Scribe is a very useful tool for them.
yeah,
Any
exactly.
technical cases that we can use? this
Of
for?
course, of course, of course, of course. So, for my tech people out there, so things like being able to report a bug, right? So one of the hard things is to fix a software bug. You usually have to reproduce it. So usually, what happens is you describe it in text and you record your screen. Now, sending over that recorded screen may actually take so much time, and it may be a huge file size, and sometimes the video itself is not very clear. But imagine something that's recording your clicks. So Scribe can actually write the exact steps to reproduce it and give it to your developers. So this is a huge, huge, huge win for reproducing issues. Another thing is API key generation. Now, a lot of people don't know how to do the following things, like be able to generate an API key for AWS or Google Cloud. So what happens is they do it sloppily, and these keys don't get leaked. And just we want to let you guys know, AWS actually had 4 outages last week because of AI generated code. So it's actually really, 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 really important that we understand how to do these things securely. AWS has actually blocked junior devs and mid-level devs from actually deploying code into production because of these huge, huge, huge outages that they've had in the past week because of AI generated code. So yeah, doing these things securely, have a document for that is really important. The next thing is, Sean, I see the reactions. Thank you. So create flawless guides on how to install a local model on a student's machine. So all these technical things, there's a million use cases. We just wanted to highlight 3 on the creative and business side and 3 on the technical side. Yeah, Johnny, any other things to add?
No, but I do have some questions queued up.
All right, let's go to Zoom first. Let's see if anybody has any questions. So again, just to recap, we are talking about Scribe here. It's the ability to record your screen and having AI generate these step-by-step guides so that people can actually follow those guides and not be confused. This is one of the examples that we did to create a song about learning AI skills with Gemini. And, it tells you how to actually navigate. And I'll actually play that song for people who join late. This is what we actually created with Gemini Lyria.
Know just what my brain is for. Yeah, I hit up Airhead after class. Put the pedal straight to the gas. Dropping knowledge, building up the code. Watch my algorithm overload. We building bots, yeah, that's the move. Got the AI state of mind, nothing to prove. Deep learning with the squad, we run the scene. The future's here, a digital dream. At Airhead, yeah, we run the game. At Airhead, they all know the name.
All right. So if you're actually not sure how to actually create a song with Google Gemini Lyria, we did drop that in the chat. So you guys can actually follow that prompt, follow the steps, and actually go ahead and do that on your own. It's actually really awesome to create these 30-second songs for absolutely free if you have a Google account. They're going to block you after some time if you don't on the higher tier, but it's a really, really great tool to play around with.
Yep. So if you need that Scribe stuff here at Airhead, you all know the game, because at Airhead, you all know the name.
Love it, AI Johnny. AI Johnny rapping there. All right, AI Johnny. What about questions? Anybody have any questions queued up?
I got one from a tech teacher. Wants to know if they can edit the text Scribe generates if names a button weirdly.
Yeah, so one of the things that we actually did here is there is a edit button here, and you can actually go ahead and hit edit. And I did make a typo. I did make a typo here. I said, I want a song. So you can actually just click on it here, remove that typo, and just like that, we updated it. So we can actually add a step. You can add pictures. So you can go ahead and do anything you want with regard and just hit done editing. And then that will be updated without the typo. So I did the typo on purpose so that that question could be asked later and answered and demoed for you guys. Hopefully that actually answered the question.
It did. What is that editing environment that you're using? Is that a Word doc?
No. This is Scribe. So let me show you. This is exactly Scribe. So when you create the documents, let me go back to the Scribe dashboard. In the Scribe dashboard, I actually created. Oh, let's skip that. In the Scribe dashboard, it's because it just started. it says what are the recent things that I actually did. And if you guys see, I actually did it, before to make sure that it worked. I did it again live. So create a song about learning AI skills. That's the one I did. And I click on it and I can now edit that. Let's call it that Scribe. I don't know what they call these things, the workflow, the tutorials. And this is the Scribe to be able to update what's actually the steps are. So I can say I don't like this web page. The web page should be, let's say for example, you want to put in a referral code or an affiliate link, so you can always get the affiliate credit for it. So you can actually do that. Chris is actually asking a question. Let me get to Chris's question first before we get to anybody else in a live stream. Chris said, how effective is Scribe when it comes to helping with application software or website developing? So, Chris, this is a great question. And the reason why it's a great question is because many people don't know how to do even the first steps of any complicated or technical task. So, Scribe is a really, really, really good tool. If a person knows how to do something, they want to teach somebody how to do something, right? So Scribe is really good at documenting how to do it. So if you want to learn about application or software or website developing, Scribe is actually good if you're a teacher or you know how to do something and you want to show somebody else how to do it. So it's not good to learn how to do something. So Chris, hopefully that answered the question. All right, AI Johnny. Do we have any other questions? You're
We
welcome,
still have time.
Chris.
I've got at least 2 questions in the queue.
Of course,
Again,
let's go ahead.
Coder has the question. Can we export to Markdown? And does it keep the image? Or when we export to Markdown, does it keep the images?
Yeah, so they actually have all these images, and again, just a little, technical details. So these images itself are actually embedded in the actual DOM, right, inside of a CDN. So what's happening is technically this image is hosted somewhere. So because you're using Scribe, if I actually click this button that says, open image in new tab, you'll notice the image is by itself. And the reason why it's by itself is because Scribe is actually hosting my image at this location. And if you notice and peek just a little bit, it's actually going to Amazon AWS. A little bit of technical details here. So what you're doing is the Markdown files has a link to the hosted file in AWS, the same place that I told you had 4 outages, major outages last week. There's a reason why Amazon was actually down for about 12 hours in certain locations, or sometimes last week. So it's actually pretty bad. They lost billions and billions of dollars in revenue over those like 12 or 16 hours. All right. Hey, Johnny, any other questions?
Yeah, I've got a unique question. I've got a comment on it, but I'll wait for your answer first. This entrepreneur wants to know, will Scribe eventually just do the clicks for me?
That's interesting. I don't know if it knows your intent, but I think we're seeing OpenClaw, and our classes on Monday talk about OpenClaw. We're seeing it actually go ahead and record the things. Now, can it read it? I don't think anything stops us from giving OpenClaw this document and say, go ahead and just do this thing for me. So if I were to guess, I think it's either already happening or you can just say, just do it for me, and it's going to happen eventually. I see guarantees it's going to probably happen.
So it's a funny question because it can be interpreted 2 different ways. One is, I got this document that tells me how to click it. Why do I have to read the document? Why does a human being have to read that document and do the clicks? Why can't an AI read that document and do the clicks for me? That's the question you just answered. But another question it could answer is, hey, I'm about to record this thing. Hey, OpenClaw, hey, Manus, would you just create a Scribe doc for me showing this guy how to do write a song using Gemini Lyria? And then it clicks for you before you've even shown him. Like it should know how to do that, right? It reminds me of the movie, the Adam Sandler movie Click, where you just like, look, I don't want to do anything. Just click, just take my whole life away from me, and you do all the work. So yeah, there's really 2 sides of that coin. There's the clicks that you do to make the Scribe document and the clips that they got to do to emulate what was in the document, and both of which in the future, entrepreneur, I believe, can be done with agentic AI. It's probably clunky in March of 2026, but wait till May or June.
Yeah, yeah, Johnny, I love that. Yeah, definitely. I think within this is the year of agents. So, guys, if you actually remember, all of last year, if you've been coming to this to Airhead Institute for the past few months, 2025 was the large language model setting the foundation. What we're seeing is the trend shifting that if you've learned just the large language model, that was not enough. The next layer is that's happening right now is agents. So agents itself are 2026. It's the big news about 2026. So I want you guys to understand that if you've learned just large language models of ChatGPT, that's old news, right? Agents itself are the future. So make sure you guys check out agents, understand what agents are, so you're actually staying ahead of the game. Because this is moving so fast that we're trying to keep up and teach you guys in a digestible way. All right, yeah, Johnny, let's go to the news.
Do we have a breaking news graphic that we can show?
Of
Wow.
course, we
You
do.
must have used Scribe. You're way ahead of the game, brother. Hey, a massive update to the OpenClaw sandbox environment dropped this morning, completely overhauling local file permissions for autonomous execution. Just what we needed, OpenClaw to have more access to our files automatically.
Yeah. So this is really important. So I want you guys to understand. So OpenClaw is the biggest, most important open source software that's actually happening right now. It has surpassed Linux in terms of GitHub stars. It's talked about everywhere. And OpenClaw is an autonomous agent that can do anything that you can do on your computer. We're actually doing a deep dive at Bootstrap on OpenClaw on Mondays, every single Monday in the month of March. So it is something there, but what happens is we cannot recommend using OpenClaw for production use now because there are lots of technical issues. Now, this is one of the technical issues that we did point out that they actually did release a fix just today that overhauls production access to your file systems. So autonomous agents do not have unfederated access now to your hard drive anymore. You actually have to give permission, which is a great first step. There's still a lot of holes that need to be plugged into the actual thing, but it's going in the right direction. So I would think in the next 6 to 12 months, this thing is going to be production ready, and end of 2026, second half of 2026, people are going to be using their personal agents on their machines, just like it's yesterday's news. All right, yeah, Johnny, thanks for that.
Google expands its Gemini Labs, great for schools, teasing new visual computer vision capabilities for identifying real-world objects in real time. Sounds like something a robot could use as well.
Definitely.
A new viral case study shows the AI agent accidentally deleting an executive's inbox, highlighting the urgent need for human-in-the-loop guardrails. That sounds like old news. Educational institutions are reporting a massive shift away from AI detectors, favoring proof of work keystroke tracking instead. Totally agree. It's like the war between the cops and the radar detectors. Eventually, you just have to teach people how to do it right.
Exactly.
Eliminate the problem altogether.
Exactly. One thing I want us to just highlight here is that we're seeing the shift that proof of work is more important than output of work, right? So I just want people, especially who are joining for the first time, want to understand is that we live in a society now that output of work matters, right? How you get to it didn't really matter, right? So that meant that people could actually cheat by using AI to generate me a paper for my exam, or score this, do these answers on the test. So educators are recognizing that output doesn't really matter anymore. The output doesn't really matter. What matters is how. And I love the way how this is actually going, because the how actually matters. The reason why the how matters is because how did you get to that answer? What was your thought process? Where's the critical thinking that you used to actually get? So this is now called proof of work. So I need to actually prove that I actually did the actual work to actually get. So people are asking for, let me see the prompt that you used to actually generate this. Let me actually see your keystrokes. So those are the ways we're seeing the tools morph into the actual educators actually teaching. So really, really, really good update on this one.
Hey, brother, I'm heading home to use Scribe to document how to fix the office printer so nobody asks me again. Dad should enjoy that. To the stream at Scribe. We know you're watching. Our students are hungry to master this, and maybe our students are happy to master everything we teach using documents recorded by Scribe. So if you want to partner with AI Institute to create the Ultimate Mastering Scribe series, or partner with us so that we use your tool to master just about anything else, you know where to find us. Tomorrow, it's Friday, which means it's Humanity 2.0 Day. We're exploring the connection economy and why empathy-focused jobs will become the most valuable skill in the world. So don't miss that. Junior?
Yeah, thank you guys always for joining. Remember to sign up for a free account and RSVP to all our shows to get reminders at www.airheadinstitute.ai. Support us by becoming a paid member. And since it's Thursday, a quick reminder that tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern is another episode of Shauna's Bible Study. You don't want to miss it. We also have all older episodes on demand for pro members. See you guys tomorrow. Bye, guys.
That wraps up today's AI Power Up. If you joined late or you're new here, welcome to Airhead Institute. This is your daily destination for mastering artificial intelligence. We designed this lineup for everyone, whether you're a technical pro looking to upskill or you just want to chill and learn something new on your lunch break, we've got you covered. Our classes evolve every single month, so you're always on the cutting edge. And the best part? It's totally free to join. Once you're in, you can get live tips on your AI projects in our AI office hours and even enroll your kids in our Airhead After School program. Scan the QR code to join the community right now and make sure to like and subscribe at Airhead Institute on all socials. Guided by your hosts AI Junior and AI Johnny, we're here to help you win. Remember, AI won't take your job, but someone who knows how to use AI will. Don't get left behind. We'll see you next class. Bring a friend.